All right, going live in three, two, one. Now, this is another episode of the Working Title Experience, episode number 007, and I have Kelly on again. She's give me one second here. Pause this. Okay, just to make sure we were live. We have Kelly on from last week. Hello, Kelly. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
So, what I'd like to start off today is with a question that I have listed on my YouTube channel. I'd like to bring this up. These are just silly questions I ask my viewers. Give me a second while I bring it up here. Oops. Oh, one second. One second. Oh, it's not giving me. Oh, one second here. Okay, here we go.
Drum roll.
It keeps on going back and trying to make me create an account because I'm using another Google account to try to access it. Okay, hopefully this time it'll let me do it.
Suspenseful.
No, remember these are just silly questions. There's nothing really serious to. Here we go.
Sillier the better.
Here we go. Okay, the question was shoes or barefoot. So
Ooh.
actually you can't see the results on this one, but I can tell you what they were. Actually, I'll bring that up. So on my other thing, give me a second. The first question, the first answer is I love wearing shoes. The second response was barefoot for me. Third response is I prefer sandals. Fourth response, I often just walk around in socks. And the fifth response is I just don't care. So,
Hmm.
what would your response be on that one?
I am a big fan of barefoot, but it's cold out right now, so I'm wearing socks currently. But I've heard that grounding is something really amazing. Something that shoes get in the way of is our connection with dirt and earth, and we can actually access this amazing transfer of energy from the ground if we walk around barefoot. So I've been trying to incorporate that into my day, especially in the summer, like that amazing feeling of walking barefoot on the beach. I just try and do that in the yard, grass, to get that charge.
I have
So
I've
barefoot.
I have heard people actually do running barefoot.
That's
I,
cool. I haven't tried it.
I don't have I don't think I think it's a good idea, but the thing that I find that's I don't know if I would do this. This is running through the streets of DC. I
Oh,
don't know if I'd want to run through DC run with no shoes on.
that's intense.
I mean, just it's not exactly a clean city in certain areas. So I don't know if I'd accidentally step on something. I mean, I could see doing it maybe in a park or something in a nice residential area, but not in the middle of a city. Um, the other thing was my answer probably right now I like wearing shoes a lot more because I'm doing some cleaning out of the house right now. So I have a lot of it's a project I've been putting off. I've been trying to move some things around and hopefully have everything cleaned out within the next couple of months. And so there's a lot of stuff that's laying around that I don't want to step on. So it's just easier for me to wear shoes all the time right now. So, but I do have a small story. I would like to say that I have a concrete deck on my house in front of my house. And one day I walked out without wearing any shoes, and the deck it has a coarse texture to it. I'd never felt it before. And when I stepped on it, like it felt really nice, like I wanted to massage my feet. And the funny part is, my older cats, which are passed on a couple of years ago, when I would take them outside and put them on the deck, they would become instantly happy, and they would just roll around and start purring on the deck. And I finally, when I walked out in my bare feet that one time, I finally realized why they got so happy because it has this nice soothing massage quality to it. And they would just roll around, and I could never figure out until I did it myself. I could never figure out why they would just get so happy at that point. And they would just stay there in the sun and just roll around all the time. Um, Now I have not tried it with I have two newer cats, the ones that are on my avatar. They're only a year and a half old. When they go outside, they just get terrorized and they just want to run off. So I don't usually take them outside very often. But but I will say it's definitely when I go outside in my area, I would definitely not want to walk around. I don't think I'd want to walk around without shoes, primarily because I live on a gravel road, and I don't think it'd be very. I think it'd be kind of painful. There's no sidewalks or anything like that, except in my yard, on my driveway and my sidewalk. That's about it. So for me, I'd have to say I'm with shoes. I'll give you a rundown of the responses. 77% of the people said they love to wear shoes, and all the rest were pretty
Wow.
low. 66 or 6% said barefoot, as well as sandals. 3% said they walk around in socks, and 8% said they just don't care. So overwhelmingly, they love to wear shoes. So
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. You're with the general audience. I'm
yeah.
a weird hippie barefoot girl. That's awesome though that you got that sensory experience and hopefully your cats will be able to enjoy that soon.
Yeah, hopefully they won't be so terrified, and I'll let them have the
Maybe
newer one.
it's something they age into
Yeah.
later on in life, the simple pleasures.
So you wanted so this evening I the topic we discussed before we went on was meditation. So why don't you give us an idea of what you wanted to discuss?
Absolutely. I am so lucky. I happened upon meditation very organically. I was in college and I took a psychology class at University of Massachusetts Amherst, and it was a class size of hundreds and hundreds of students, and we're all packed in this auditorium. And I immediately disliked it from the first survey because we were picking apart how the brain works, and it was giving me anxiety, like, oh my gosh, is everything just formulated in my brain? And I hate big classes too, because I feel like I'm just in a sea of people. So I immediately dropped it. It's the only class I've ever dropped. And I was like, how am I going to fill this requirement? So when I was studying abroad, I found that I could take a meditation class to cover psychology. So I took it through, it's called the School of Happiness, which, I mean, who doesn't want to take a class through that school? And the professor was so amazing. She had met with the really great spiritual guides in her life. So she super educated on it. And I was really lucky because it met once a week. And when you're traveling all the time, having those moments where you can decompress, kind of slow down your brain and take in everything you saw was really, really important and amazing for me. And it was something that I use now almost daily. It should become a non-negotiable practice in my mind. Like, you brush your teeth, you shower to stay clean, but are we really cleaning our minds every day? So I think that's an important habit that we need to start incorporating. And it's hard to stay on track with, but she helped me develop those habits. And our final was really incredible. She actually had us do a guided meditation for, it was an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think we actually filled up the 2 hour time slot. And I remember having a beautiful out of body experience where I felt colors, and it was almost shocking because I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction. And I remember after the class walking around the city of Florence and just loving every single person's smile, their eyes, and just wanting to hold on to that moment for as much as possible. And I knew that meditation's the answer.
Well, you got me intrigued here. I got two questions. The School of
Yes.
Happiness. That's the real name of the
Yes.
school?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if they still offer the classes. I think she might have retired. It was through Florence University of the Arts. It was a class that they offered underneath that umbrella of that school. But School of Happiness.
And the other question I have is, when you saw these colors, I mean, this was all induced strictly through meditation only, right? There was no, you didn't take,
Correct. Yeah.
okay, nothing was taken as
All natural state. I was completely shocked because I remember being skeptical the whole time. And we do little meditations here and there. Unfortunately, the class was on a Thursday, and my travel partner roommate, she didn't have any Thursday classes. So I would skip the class sometimes, which is not okay, because how are you supposed to pass a meditation class without actually going to the meditations? So she gave me special assignments where I would actually journal my meditations, which was something that I also think is really, really great resource and tool after you meditate. Instead of having it all go away, kind of write down a couple of things that stood out to you that's tucked away maybe in your day to day that keeps coming up, resurfacing when you're finally closing your eyes and tuning in.
So with the pandemic, I would assume a lot of people, including yourself, if you're tied up and don't have anything to do, how's your experience been with that?
Oh, it's been really good. It really helps you cope with stresses. And for me, I was getting out of a serious long term relationship. So meditation helped me really process my feelings and be okay with feeling those emotional roller coasters that you go through when you're just getting back on your feet and you're starting a new chapter. As soon as I moved into this new place that I was staying at, it was the first time I'd ever lived alone. I kind of treated it like an ashram experience that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to stay in a place where you do a day of silence and you just sit with your thoughts. So that's when I started building those habits, was during the pandemic, because I had that time. And now it's something I rely on.
No, I have to ask this question. It's slightly off topic, but I've been a little distracted by, so I need to ask. The
Yeah.
image on your shirt, is that related to meditation?
Oh, this one?
Oh, yeah, I can
Oh,
see.
yeah. This is like my favorite travel shirt too. I don't know if it's actually related to anything. I just liked it. I think it's like from Billabong, but
Is that a
definitely
dream?
sun, moon, dream catcher feathers.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was. I didn't
All
see
good vibes.
when you step back there. I could see it was a dream catcher. I couldn't see what it was at first.
Oh
So that,
yeah, it looks like a mountain a little bit too.
uh,
Yeah, I always get compliments on it.
it is a very nice looking shirt. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, have you noticed any changes about yourself after doing this, or
Oh yeah.
aside from
For
what you?
me, very like emotional person. So I find that it helps me level out my mood. I went through a lot of tough times, teenage years, growing up, and in high school, I was diagnosed with ADD. But before that, they thought that I had depression, so I went on medication, and that really messed with my moods. And it was really difficult when you're at such a young age to go on those types of medications and go to therapy and talk to adults. You just feel so in your own world, in your own island, kind of helpless. And unfortunately, I didn't have meditation then. I had it a couple of years later, but it actually helped me get off of different types of medication, antidepressant, and I was taking Adderall to help me study. And I found that it was winding me up so much. And when I didn't take it, I was more clear minded. If I meditated, I got my thoughts together. I wasn't always chasing after that, grabbing at the information in my mind. It actually was there the whole time. You need to be patient with yourself. And that's what meditation taught me, is to be patient with my mind and my thinking.
I got you. And also, when it comes to like physical issues as well. So, like, if you had does it help with that as far as like if you have any physical issues that you're trying to deal with?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that we often neglect our body is actually telling us all the time our aches and pains. So when you sit in that seated position or you're laying down flat, which is one of my favorite meditations, is when you lay down, then you start to notice, oh my gosh, my knee's bothering me. Maybe I should stretch that a little bit more, put some hot or cold on it. And then you start to realize, oh, I have a little headache. Maybe I'm dehydrated. You're just scanning your body, and that's really amazing to tap in.
No, I got a question about now, if this is the same subject area. I've seen people get into like small like tubs of water that are sealed off. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is that in the same general thing?
Yeah. Sleep deprivation tanks.
Okay, that's it.
Those
Yeah.
are cool. I haven't been in one, but I have friends that have done it, and they literally lose sense of time. They're just floating.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw that was on an episode of The Simpsons, and I had never seen anything like that. The Simpsons usually tries to parody a lot of things that are pretty real, so and one of the characters got stuck. I think it was Homer Simpson got stuck in that, and he actually went on a physical trip because his little container ended up going all over Springfield, and he perceived
I
that
know.
as a part of his hallucinate, like he was hallucinating a trip or something, but it was actually him being bounced around in the whole thing.
Oh my
And
God, too funny. And you're like, sign me up.
yeah.
That sounds
the
fun.
are those things are those, I mean, are those pretty popular?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's kind of a shortcut if you really want to decompress. Um, Also, I think sound baths are really cool. Have you heard of that? With singing bowls, where you like sit in the middle and they have singing bowls around you, and it's kind of like a sound retreat bath. So I do think like when you tap in into your senses or take some away, that's really important, and something that we sometimes forget to do is to close our eyes or close our ears. You know, you're underwater, you're in that tank, well, not completely submerged, but up to your ears, so you're not getting the sound either. That's really cool.
So the other version you're talking about, is that like sound waves that are generated that are basically, well, I assume they would be lower sound waves, like really deep frequencies. Is that right? Like,
Yeah, different hertz of noise. And you can look them up too on Spotify. It's a really great meditation tool.
you could, I'm sure there's probably people on YouTube that, or you could probably just generate them yourself if you know are they like, what are they? Are they just tones, or what are they? Are they actual melodies? How does that work?
It's a vibration. I actually have a sound bowl here if you want me to play one. I don't
Sure.
know how my mic's going to pick it up, but I'm hoping someone takes me on tour, little band. But you tap it. I used to just hit it like this,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
very
Yeah.
abrupt and kind of noisy. But the way to do it is to go around the side after you hit it. So,
Oh, okay. So
you can kind of sound.
yeah. So you're
Ta-da.
creating, like, you're finding the resonant frequency of
Yeah.
that, and it just resonates. That's pretty cool.
And it's
So
pretty
are there different
fun.
frequency ranges as well, higher and lower, or how does that
Yep.
work?
Got a big bowl.
Oh.
Bigger the bowl, the lower the sound, the deeper the relaxation, maybe.
Does that make you
Feeling
feel
zen?
I feel a little relaxed.
Nice.
How does that make you feel?
Pretty awesome. Makes me feel good that I figured it out. I actually feel like a musician when I play those.
How many of those do you have altogether?
Just the two. Can you
Just
imagine? I just keep pulling more and more out.
so, do you have so how do you, when you use those, how do you use those exactly? I mean, do you use them in like an area that's more self-contained, like similar to those,
Good
um
acoustics.
yeah, so are you in a more wide open area, more, that's what I'm basically mean, is it more closed off, or is it wide open? Would you step into a closet if you had to, to use those, or would you use those?
Oh, that's a good idea. I haven't tried in a tighter space, but I've seen people do it out in nature and really like that experience. So I will let you know
I,
about
I
the.
would I would assume if you're in a tighter place, you would get, you would get more of the sound and vibrations, because if you're outside, it's going to just, the sound is going to emanate away, and the waves are going to, you're not going to have as much. So my assumption was it was going to be in a more self-contained area that was very small. So
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know. I'll give it a shot.
so the as far as would you recommend this for people who are trying to be creative with things, or how does that work
Oh,
exactly?
yeah. So when I started taking film classes at UMass Amherst, and I took a screenwriting course. And I love one of my favorite professors ever. He made an amazing documentary about the counterculture, like the first commune established. And he's just an amazing individual. And then he started making screenwriting in Hollywood for different TV shows. So he's had a lot of different experiences with filmmaking. And he says his saving grace, his reason that he's such a good screenwriter is that he meditates before he writes. So when we'd get to class, we would all do a group meditation. And that was kind of like a way of cleaning the slate so that we could all be present for one another in our script reads and give valuable advice and not be checked out. So I do think there is something about doing group meditations too. And I think it's really cool when you are in a room with other people meditating, there's kind of this communal sense of we're all in this calm state. You can kind of feel the energy in the room shift. And then we all get right into it with this new momentum of presence.
How does that work? I mean, how when you have a group of people together, I mean, is there just one person leading everyone into this state? How does that work?
Yeah, he would try and do guided, but eventually he was like, we're just gonna play something from YouTube to do it because he's like, I want to meditate too. I don't like guiding you guys. I want to be in the same state of awareness that you're in. So we would listen to it actually. It was a YouTube video, and there's so many if you just go on YouTube and type in different types of meditation. I type meditation for deep sleep, meditation for anxiety, meditation for clearing my mind, manifesting. Meditations are really cool when you're trying to picture this perfect life or a goal that you want to reach. And you can visualize it a little bit more in a deep meditation. But he was, we would laugh a little bit because he would be so into the meditation that he kind of didn't want to get out of it. And we'd be like, oh my gosh, we've been like sitting quietly for like 20 minutes and it's only like an hour and a half class. Like, we got work to do.
Would anyone fall asleep by chance or when this happened?
Oh, in Florence, we had someone fall asleep, which was really funny. And she's like, it's okay. She's like, sometimes it's better for those people that are so good at falling asleep to meditate with their eyes open. So you just look at something on the ground, like find a nice point where your eyes are relaxed, you're not straining them, but you're in the room, like you understand where you are when your eyes are slightly open. Or mindfulness meditation when you're looking at like a candle flame or something really beautiful like a salt rock lamp or the clouds. That's another type of meditation. If you're the kind that falls asleep really easily, might want to give a different meditation a try because there's so many different types. There's like breath work, mindfulness, and then the clearing the mind. Everyone thinks that meditation is just one thing, and that's no thinking at all. And we're learning over time that actually, because we're so hyperactive in our society and we are flooded with information constantly and we're picking up our phones, trying to clear your mind is really, really difficult, and you're just going to get frustrated and give up. So a type of meditation where you're actually noticing your thinking and maybe realizing, oh, I think that too much, and not being judgmental, but just noticing what you're thinking is a new type of meditation that is starting to be talked about and widely accepted.
So how would this help with, say, relationships for potential, like boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife? I mean,
yeah. In a perfect world, both partners would meditate so that you're both in that state of awareness, but that's not always the case.
Yeah. Does it help though? Would it help in that case? I mean, I'm just, if only one person did it, the other person might still be stressed out. And I would think it's almost like someone's on a special diet where they can't eat sugar. The other person eats sugar. And so the person that's eating sugar
comparison.
It has a completely different feeling because they can't eat sugar and they're getting all testy. And then the other person that's eating sugar is they're more relaxed. That's what it comes across to me like, something like that.
Oh yeah, and I've noticed that sometimes in a relationship, if one person's trying so hard to be mindful, they'll be judgmental of the other person. Like, oh, I practice mindfulness and you don't, so I'm going to be able to handle this much better than you are. Like, put it up on a pedestal a little bit and think that they're better off, or just a little more holier than thou. And that's just not the case. Meditation is different every day. And some days you have good meditations and sometimes you don't. It's about being humble in those moments. I think meditation has helped me to notice how much I'm thinking about the other person in a relationship. I think that's really special about certain types of meditation. I love Tony Robbins. He does a priming exercise, which is 15 minutes. And there's a part of it where he asks you to think about people that you love and care about, and you imagine yourself flowing love from you into that other person. And when you start having that gratitude for them in your life, you want to hug them after, you want to appreciate them, you want to enjoy every moment because you're not so reactive to them, because you're in a more calmer state.
Gotcha. So I'd like to jump back for a second about physical issues. Like if someone has a pain that they're trying to get rid of, obviously they're going to have to seek medical attention for that. But how well would that help in relieving any pain that's actually there? Does that really help in that way?
Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of neuroscience behind certain twitching in legs, like muscles reacting because of stress. It all comes back to managing stress. I think a lot of our aches, pains, ailments come from too much of stress and anxiety in our life. And if meditation can actually make a difference in the way your body is reacting. So I do think, and I believe Emily Fletcher did talk about that in her Mind Valley masterclass, that she had patients who experienced like tremors and shakes, and the meditation would help them for a moment calm down. I've been getting back into running because it's been so nice out lately. And I noticed that my legs were flaring up, like I was twitching in my meditation. And I thought to myself, oh, just like breathe through it. Maybe it'll go away. And I told my body to relax. And then just like that, it just stopped. And it's like that little amazing reminder of my mind really does control a lot of my body. So I just need to use it.
That's good. What about people that have like serious conditions? Would that help you? Would that help them as well? As far as like,
Hopefully, it's worth a shot, right?
I was just curious if there's any medical research about that. I
Yeah.
know, I know, like acupuncture will work on the back, will
Mhm.
relieving back pain. I don't know if acupuncture works on anything else, but I do know there is some backing to that. So it sounds kind of similar to that in some way. That maybe there might be some relief, or if you relieve the tension in your mind, that your body would it might feel a little better. I don't think it would actually heal you though. I mean, I can't imagine that, but I don't know. I'm as I would like to talk about Emily Fletcher because you brought her name up, but we haven't discussed her yet. Who is Emily Fletcher for the people who don't know?
She's amazing. She founded this company called Ziva Meditation. So you can actually follow that on Instagram, where they have daily live meditations. And she has been studying for 20 years. So she has a lot of amazing experience with being able to talk in a public setting about meditation working for her. She works with athletes, actors, high stress situations, and she helps them manage their life in a way where they can be really successful. And I found her classes short and just full of great information that's really encouraging. And it's not overwhelming at all. It seems very manageable. And I loved how she said she was a Broadway star and she was noticing it wasn't working for her. She was just too stressed out at such a young age. She had gray hair. She had stresses in her legs. She kept getting injured. And then she saw this other woman who was also backstage, and this woman was doing her job flawlessly, and she asked her, "What's your secret?" And the old woman said, "Oh, I meditate every day." And she thought, well, what do I have to lose? I'll try meditating then. And just like that, slowly over time, she found the best way to do it for her. And she found out that if she taught other people, then they could be successful as well. And it actually cured her insomnia, which is an amazing side effect of meditating, is you actually teach your body to go into this relaxing state. And when you go into that relaxed state, you notice thoughts pop up because your body naturally wants to release stress. And the only way to release stress is to think about it. So that's when your body's like, oh, don't forget this, and your mind starts racing again. And it's so good to just take that time to do it so you're not doing that right before bed.
Gotcha. Now,
When you try to fall asleep and all that stuff pops up, that's totally natural. But if you did that already in your meditation, when you go to bed to go to sleep, you might be more clear-minded.
So when you go to, let me ask you about, so if you're going off to sleep, the meditation clears your head of all those thoughts, basically. And is that how it works? And then you're basically just able to go to sleep a lot faster, or how does that work for you?
A little bit, yeah. The goal is to get all of those stresses and thoughts out while you're in that deep meditation and coming to peace with it and being very calm. And then when you're out of it, you're in this awaking meditation throughout your day. So then when you go to sleep, that's when you can get into your deep REM sleep a lot quicker because your body has already released so many of those stresses during your meditation during that day. I found that meditating in the morning was really good for me for a while because I would wake up and I'd want to rush and start doing something. So taking that time to really, set my intentions and feel my body, the rhythm of the morning, and everything just happened so much more beautifully.
Are you doing this? So in the morning, do you do this is this a routine for you? That's something I didn't think of until you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was living by myself, it was a routine. Now I'm living with my family. So it's not something I do immediately in the morning. My dog wakes me up every morning, which is a different type of meditation because she's just so cute, but she has to go outside right away. So we do our deep breathing together. And I think it's really nice, although that was so important to me at the time when I was building the habit to do it in the morning. For me, having that, I'm going to go meditate and take that time for me, that self-care in the middle of my day and stop what I'm doing and just go do that, has been a new way of me discovering where my priorities lie. Like, am I taking care of myself? If I don't meditate, then maybe I'm not taking care of myself. Maybe I'm not spending enough time relaxed. And then that also goes into my nighttime journaling. I love to journal every single night. I've started in the beginning of October and I've done it consistently. I've only missed like a couple of nights, but having that at the end of the day to talk about what I'm grateful for, talk about my favorite part of the day, talk about things I'm hoping for in the future, and then having that log to look back on and see my journey and see how much certain things have helped me. And maybe I, in a way, manifested those in my journal by writing them down. Things come into my future. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. How does your family react when you meditate? Do they want to?
Are they supportive? Yeah, it's really funny. I totally got them hooked on it now, which is great. But at the beginning, I remember I told my mom, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing a meditation class in Italy. It's going to be amazing." And she's like, "That sounds like napping. What do you mean you're just going to sit with your eyes closed?" And I was like, "I don't know. We'll see if I like it, if it works." And it was amazing. It was the first time I felt like I could finally relax and let go. So I was like, it's something that all of us should do. So they love it now. And we totally do group meditations together. And it's been really great to be a good influence on them.
I don't know how many members are in your family. I guess your parents and any brothers and sisters? Or
I have a younger sister. And she's so smart. Yeah, she's applying to a PA grad school, and she works in a medical field. Total opposite of me. I'm so creative. The words that she's studying are so long. It's so daunting. She aces her quiz. She's smarty pants, and I'm like the meditator, creative type that loves visual arts. So it's cool how different we are, but we love each other, and we're a very happy family. I'm very, very, very lucky. We're all
So
very supportive of each other.
that's pretty good. How about, does she meditate with you as well, or has she decided not to? What was her reaction to that?
I haven't really asked her yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she has that much time. She's so busy. But yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I will. I will ask her if she wants to take a beat or two and just relax and take some deep breaths. I mean, we do a lot of deep breathing as a family when things are stressed out. When you travel on vacations and things like that, sometimes outside world can stress you out. So just closing our eyes and breathing through things. I think I personally, my personality needs meditation. I can't live without it, but other people can do just fine.
So now you're talking about your mother. She thought it was just sleeping. Are there any other misconceptions about meditation you have to deal with that people ever tell you like that?
Wait, with what and
What,
sleeping?
your mother said that what is it, just sleeping? Obviously
Mhm.
that's a misconception. Are there any other
Oh,
misconceptions that people bring up to you about meditation that's that you can think of that may, I don't know, that you could, I guess you could just relate to us. I can't think of any other way to say that.
oh yeah, I definitely get like that's hippie stuff. Like, oh, tripping out in your meditations, that's so cool. Um, I also get like the like lazy, like, oh, that's kind of like a lazy man's way of motivating yourself by like just sitting around and doing nothing. Like, oh, that's not something that should be on everyone's to-do list. And that's something that Emily Fletcher actually talks about. She says that a lot of people say that meditation is their spark. I mean, that they don't want to meditate, they don't want to slow down because they're a high energy person and that's their spark and that's their edge. And the business world is that they're not like totally zened out. And that's the misconception that if you meditate that you're totally zened out all the time and you can't have your energy spikes and you can't channel that. I think it's just you're channeling your energy in a more centered way instead of going out in every single direction. It's sporadic minded when you don't have that there's an amygdala in the center of your brain that connects the left and the right hemisphere, and when you meditate it's proven that it makes it wider, so you're actually connecting both sides of the brain, which helps with problem solving. So why aren't we doing this in schools and for kids and start that earlier on so that we're helping our brains with problem solving in creative new ways?
No, that brings up a question. When I took a psychology course in the college I went to,
Oh, you did it.
well, no, I
Nice.
didn't. Sorry, no, this is something else altogether. But
Okay.
I was told that women have more connections to the left and right hemisphere than men do. So,
Ooh.
they're able to analyze things a little bit better than men can. That's what I was taught. Or they can formulate faster thoughts, but because their left and right hemisphere are communicating just a little bit faster.
Yeah,
So,
let's say that.
as far as the meditation goes,
Mhm.
I'm wondering how that would affect, if there would be a difference between men and women in that regard. If that's, because I don't, I may be getting some of those facts wrong. It's been a while since I took that course, so I don't remember every detail. But I mean, as far as, have you heard anything that's where men take or have a better, better or worse advantage to meditation, or everything? Is it come out pretty much balanced?
Yeah, I think this would be like a personal opinion. I don't like to generalize, but the people that I've come across, I find that a lot of guys, when they start meditating, it's really hard because they want to grab at that successful meditation. Like, I want to be really successful with this. So I'm going to clear my mind and I'm just going to think about a clear mind the whole time. Whereas a woman is used to handling so many different emotions all the time that we can really tap into listening to our thinking. Whereas guys are more like compartmentalized. I've heard people describe it as like, men have things in boxes and they like pull it out of the box, they think about it, they're problem solvers, and then they put it back in the box. Where the woman doesn't have any boxes, any boundaries. They're thinking about that and this and that all at the same time. So it's exhausting. But so I'd say I wouldn't say anyone would be better at meditating. Maybe because they compartmentalize, that makes it a little bit easier for them to tap into the clearing of the mind if they're trying to do more of that mindfulness type of meditation. I do feel like the women that I've seen in the meditation field are very passionate and in tune with their feelings. So that's their approach to meditation, is being more in tuned with your feelings. Whereas guys with meditation, they're like, if you do this, this will make you a more functioning person. So it's like a different, like a tool versus like a part of you, more spiritual.
Gotcha. Now, men tend to be, from my experience, more competitive than women in general. I mean,
Yeah.
there are women that are competitive as well, but generally speaking, I mean, how does that change their? Have you seen if that's changed their attitude about being competitive? Do they seem to be more, I don't know what's the word, like they're just more accepting of loss? Maybe they aren't looking to win or make any advance, or how does that work with with a competitive edge?
Yeah, that's true. I think what Emily Fletcher was saying was that when you work on that fight or flight mentality, so you reach a stressful situation and your brain fires off and it's like, we have to fix this right now. I'm a solutions person. And then you immediately try and throw everything at it to try and fix the problem. Whereas meditation will help you look at the bigger picture and think about maybe a different way of solving the same problem. And it'll come to you more easily and you won't have to stress your body out. I think that's like the big thing these days, is we're starting to realize how much stress impacts your body and your health. So this is a way of coping with that. So those high performance individuals, they're having a lot of stress in their day-to-day life and their brain is switching to that fight or flight moment, whereas meditation might help you refrain from going into that and making stupid mistakes. Because when you're in that like quick fix moment, you might make a mistake, which is just a mistake of something that you want to get right the first time. And then you have to do it over again a second time. And you could have got it right first if you just took your time and had the patience, which is also what I found meditation gave me, more patience.
So if someone is competitive, it might help them in succeeding even more in some way, in a lot of ways. Basically, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it'll help you win.
So let me get back to this. We've been talking about Emily Fletcher, and I brought her page up. Let me bring that up again real quick. Here it is. So this website right here is Mind Valley. What is this her website that I have brought up here?
It is his website. So the guy on the right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See if
It's his website. I actually signed up for another class today that was all about breath work. I'm doing a breath work workshop. I always sign up. The great thing about Mind Valley, actually on YouTube, whenever I type in a video for like maybe a meditation or something, this will be the advertisement, is his Mind Valley class. And then I just clicked right on that enroll now. And I don't try and schedule it for any other time than right now at this moment, because sometimes you forget to sign up. You sign up for the class and you completely forget about it. You don't put it in your calendar at all. So I just go into different Mind Valley talks, and I've come across a lot of really great ones. It's a really wonderful resource and they're free to use.
Is this Mind Valley? Is this a because when the webs their page itself, the website that I have this link for only has one
Mhm.
video on it. So I'm assuming that's not the because I can't click on anything to bring anything else up. I assume that there's is everything on their YouTube channel?
I believe so. Yes, that's how I've been finding it is through YouTube.
Okay, and Emily is part of that. How's is that or is she? How does that work? Or is she just a guest on his like being
She's a
interviewed?
guest, so he interviews different types of Mind Valley,
Okay, okay. I
um,
see it. Is does
different
Emily?
topics all the time.
I should have looked it up. Does Emily have her own website? Anything that people can go to look for, or is it just going to YouTube and just finding her there? Is that probably the
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. So Ziva is the name of her meditation. So I'm gonna type it into Ziva meditation.
Ziva? How's that spelled? Oh, Ziva. Is that it?
Yes. So
Okay.
that is her
Okay. Hold. I think I found it. Yeah. Here we go. Pretty sure I'm bringing it up right now.
zivameditation.com.
Oh, oops. Hold on. There we go. Is that it right there? Ziva.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What is Ziva? What is that? Is that a specific kind of meditation?
I believe it's a school. So she actually offers in class enrollment. I don't know now with COVID, but you can take a course with her and become a student. And she also, you can see like all the great references of
Yes.
people that she's worked with. So she's worked with CEOs, corporate people as well. And yeah, she's just awesome. So I do think that it's a class you can sign up for.
Is it expensive? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't looked too far. Enroll now up there in the corner.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I'll bring it up.
You can see.
There we go. Oh, no, we don't want that.
Very cool. Oh, I did see that for kids. So it's really cool. I always thought it'd be amazing to have like a meditation show for kids because we expose our kids to cartoons that are so fast paced and colorful to like keep their attention, but do we have any shows that calm them?
Do you think that'd be possible? I mean, when I was a kid, people
Yeah.
told me that I was very relaxed for a boy. I mean, because a lot of times people say boys are very hyperactive, and everyone said the exact opposite about me. I was very calm and relaxed.
No
So
way, your parents got lucky.
the
Awesome.
would you? I can't imagine. I mean, I've seen some very hyper young children, especially boys and
Mhm.
girls. I mean, I can't. Would it be possible to even get them to calm down enough? I mean, how would you do that?
Hopefully with her new show, she'll find a way to crack the code. I find it really hard too because kids are just so grabby with the iPads and the video games, and they just constantly want something to have their attention. So it would be really cool if we started teaching meditation earlier on, so kids always have that.
So,
I was a quiet kid too, but I also you could tell that even though I was shy, I was thinking a lot, like hyperactive and ADD. So my mind was always in a bunch of different places, and I was always kind of anxious. So since a young age, they've been trying to help me through that, and now I would say it's because of meditation and just knowing what works for me, working out, eating right. My mood is just amazing. So I would say anyone who's kind of wondering like there's something missing in my life, give meditation a try. Just try and relax and listen to your body, your mind, and maybe the universe will send you little messages of what you should be doing.
now, as far as going like where you started with this, I mean, you have the everything with these websites. Is there any other place people can go to start to try to find this? Do you have any other sources where people can find this information?
Meditation information.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, where would they go if aside from Emily Fletcher? I mean, where else would they? Is there any other places that you would recommend? Do you have any?
Oh yeah. There's some really great books, some literature out there. Um, There's a book that I just started reading, so I don't know totally how to recommend it because I haven't finished it yet, but Wisdom of No Escape.
Okay.
This one's really amazing. There's also The
Could you go
Power of
into the title?
Now. That's a really popular best-selling book that I read a while ago that really just solidified things. Also, The Surrender Experiment's a really good one where it's all about surrendering to the flow of life instead of always trying to, you know, stress yourself out on what you think you should be doing. You just kind of follow the signs around you and the people around you to help you make decisions.
Okay. So, and is there any are these how far back are these books? I mean, does it evolve over time? I assume it does, but I don't know. I mean, people as far as the understanding of meditation, like if someone grabbed a book from say the 1970s, would it be just as relevant as today, or would there be things in there that would probably be considered outdated?
I think it would. I think meditation is one of those things where we just keep piling on more and more with it, but the basis is pretty much always the foundation is goes back way beyond. So I don't think there's misinformation necessarily or a wrong book that you could pick up about it. It's really amazing that our Western idea of medicine and then Eastern medicine, how we're kind of coming together finally after, you know, our Western idea is kind of like fix the problems fast, prescribe medication. And then you have this beautiful Eastern medicine that is more holistic. And we're starting to realize through like acupuncture and things like that, there's something to say about quieting the body and quieting the mind that's really helpful. So I think that the best thing you can do is to get into a community of other people who like to meditate. It's always great to read a book, but it's kind of like if you want to learn how to swim, do you read a book on how to swim or do you just get in the water and try it out or have someone who's really good at swimming teach you? There's like 3 ways to go at it. And if you really want to get into meditation, you should find someone in your area maybe that you can meditate with or a group of community of people where you can hopefully with COVID and everything, with everything starting to open up again, people can start getting together and meditating together and learn from others.
That's a good. I like that in the way you stated that. Like you don't read a book about swimming, so you don't read a book about meditation. I mean, honestly, that's what I first thought was you want to read about it first. I didn't even think about just going in and doing it. So
Yeah, go for it.
now, now, do you do yoga as
Mhm.
well?
Oh, yes. I think it's so important. Even just a couple of yoga positions every day is so good for your health, so good for your body. I find that Shavasana, it's the position after you're done with meditation where you lay on the ground. It's very meditative. After doing yoga, your body sensations after stretching, you kind of get this extra relaxation. Like you feel your body is so heavy after yoga and kind of has this like vibration feeling to it. And you're just very in tune with how your body feels. So those two together, I think, are a really powerful duo if you can fit both into your practice.
So, how long have you been doing yoga? Is this something that came about from meditation, or was this something separate?
I've been doing yoga for a while. I really wanted to get my certification before the pandemic. I wanted to go and study and get my 200 hours so that I could teach yoga. I was working at an athletic club, so I would do yoga classes as often as possible. And I think it's really important to find your favorite instructors. My favorite instructor would do these talks before yoga where he would have like a topic or something that he wanted to focus on. And that was always nice to have like in your head while you're doing your practice, like decompress, but also focus on one certain thing, maybe. And then you kind of while you're doing these movements and you're thinking about, you're developing more a lesson from what he was saying, and letting it absorb in a different way than just constantly bouncing around in your head. So I think finding the right teacher is really important too. But also, I found this really great app on my phone, so I can do yoga wherever I go. It's called Down Dog.
Yeah.
And you can actually pull it up on a website, downdog.com, and you can pick what type of yoga you want to do, whether it's restorative, a quick flow, hatha. They have all the different types. You can put in how long you want it to be. If you just have 15 minutes, you can pick how long you want the meditation afterwards to be. You can choose what music you want. You can play your own music to it. It's so easy to use. And I recommend it to all my friends. And I've used it for over a year now, and it's been really, really useful to me.
I didn't bring it up. I just brought up some images on YouTube. I typed in down dog to see what came up. It doesn't really show very much though. Otherwise I'd bring it up.
I could pull it up here on my phone if you want.
I could, actually, I guess I could bring up, you said downdog.com was the website?
Yeah.
Let me try that. That might be a little better.
It's awesome.
Let's see. Is it coming?
If you're having a hard time, I could probably pull it up too. Let me make sure I have the right. Yeah, Great Yoga Anywhere. Downdogapp.com/play.
On again.
.com/.
No. Oh, yeah, let me spell that. No, it's just not coming up for some reason. I'm using.
Well, you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, if you have it. Let me see.
Here we go. And share. Beat you to it.
Yeah, it's not coming. Okay, here we go. I'll bring it up. There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing that at all. Okay, that looks. I guess if you're used to doing that, that looks a little painful at first.
I know, right? Let me just sign in with this so that you can see the interface.
Hide that. Let me hide that.
It's so easy to use. Okay. So you're generating a sequence. So that's just based on what I was last doing, but let me
root down through your sit bones.
So it's very relaxing.
So this brings up another question about meditation. I guess yoga would fall in this as well. She's sitting on a mat. I mean, as far as meditation goes, is there any kind of surfaces that are better in any way, or would it be better? Like, do people like to, like, say if they did it on a shaggy rug and laid down on a shaggy rug, or obviously a hard floor would be obviously. I don't think anyone would do it on a hard floor, but I mean, is there anything that's better?
Oh yeah, I think comfort should be the number one thing you're going for. If you're cold, also having a nice warm blanket to lay over you is really nice to help you relax. Anything you need to help you get that little extra relaxation is just setting you up for success.
And as far as like environments, as far as like doing it, let's say outside and inside, is there any advantage, do you think, to doing it, say, outside or inside?
Oh yeah, I love doing it outside. Meditation outside, you feel more connected to nature, and you're getting those amazing sensory feelings of the wind, the air, the birds chirping, feeling the grass. So you're getting that extra heightened awareness. And if you're laying on the ground, you're also getting that grounding, that energy that comes naturally from the ground. So outside all the way. But if it's too cold, that can also take away from your practice because you're so focused on trying to be warm.
And as far as like, I mean, times of year, I guess I don't know if that'd be a relevant question or not, but in the wintertime versus the summertime, as far as the cold and heat, I mean, you're talking about wearing a blanket if you're too cold. In the wintertime, would you want to go outside and do it in the snow? If it was like snow outside, would that, I don't know if that would work or not. I would assume some people would
Yeah,
just
you got to put a mat or something down so you're not laying too close to the snow. It would just freeze you up a little bit, and then you're shivering, and then you're like, why am I doing this in the first place? But I do think that fresh air is really nice. There's also something really amazing about just being mindfulness on your walks, on daily walks. I don't necessarily think that you personally, for me and for anyone, that you have to be seated to really see the benefits of meditation. I do a walking meditation where I'm very aware of every step. I'm slowly propelling my body forward. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the wind on my face, and that in itself is a beautiful form of relaxation. So even if it's cold, you go for a walk and you really try and be present. That's really what it's all about.
Wait, you're meditating while you're walking, is that right? Do I have that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mindful walking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Give it a shot. It's fun.
I wouldn't understand. I'm not exactly well, I'd have to try meditation first and then I guess work up to that level, I guess.
Baby steps, right? Start with crawling and then walking. Meditation, crawling first.
So you said you kept a journal. You kept a journal before.
Mhm.
As far as your meditation, did you keep a journal of your meditation? Your progress with meditation and how that worked out for you?
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was very interesting how when I would think about what I would write about in my log, I would be very agitated and itchy. Like I would just pick at I was having a hard time trying to not think about the future, not thinking about getting to that journal entry, and instead being in the moment. And then once I broke the code and I stopped thinking about the journal entry and the future, that's when I realized that a lot of our power comes from being in the present. So I would focus on my breathing instead, and I would just focus on what thoughts pop up. And then I told myself it's not really what's important. It's not like I'm trying to retrieve information. So when I actually get to my journal entry, I'm not trying to like have all the answers. Whatever I want to write is what's meant to come out of my meditation. There's no pressure. No one's going to read this. It's only for me. So that journaling was less about the meditation. It was more of like a continuing what I was already feeling. Like maybe the thought right after I was getting out of my meditation, I start journaling about. Or maybe there was something it's just a way of looking back at how it washed over you and what you want to take away from it.
Now, as far as like when you meditate, you talked about seeing colors. Would you write in your journal about seeing all these different colors and different images that you saw?
Yeah, I can't promise that that's going to happen to everyone. And it really only happened to me that one time. The second time I had a kind of like a different experience where I was meditating for a long period of time, I actually got nauseous. I made myself nauseous and a little bit dizzy. And they say that can happen because your body is feeling all these different sensations in this deep sleep. Kind of felt like I was rocking back and forth. So it's different for everyone, and it's different every time. That's the crazy thing about meditation and about life. Every moment is totally different. Every meditation is different. And sometimes there's some amazing takeaway moment, and you will never know unless you try.
Gotcha. No, as far as losing, do you ever experience vertigo? Well, you only had it happen once to you. Do people experience vertigo? You know what vertigo is?
Yeah, that imbalance, like roller coaster rides, give me some vertigo sometimes.
Does that happen?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone, but I've definitely heard that if you have your eyes closed for too long, sometimes you can lose that. Another body sensation is kind of losing the feeling of your body. Like you're just not noticing the little itch on your arm at all. You just kind of let all that melt away. And then you just turn into this breathing, being, and it's all about that rhythm of breathing. It's really amazing. And it's such an amazing break from being a human because it can be so stressful sometimes. And you're constantly feel like you have to fix things and, oh, I should drink more water. Or I should do this, that. You're living in the future. This meditation can help you just take a break. Just take a second, breathe.
So for people who are starting off at the beginning, how much time would you suggest that they set aside for this? I mean, or would, if they plan to do it, how much time would you tell them that they should set aside to actually do this, for the actual process?
Yeah. If you want a real experiment, just like go for 2 hours and see if you can sit still for that long. No, definitely don't recommend that. Ease into it over time, little by little. In my meditation course, we started off with 10 minutes. It was more about the background, the research of meditation, the health benefits. We learned everything around meditation so that when we got into that state, you were kind of like excited, motivated to really make it work for you and really relax because you knew that you were getting good health benefits from it. So you commit to it. It's kind of it's a commitment to yourself. Like, I'm ready to take care of myself now. I'm going to wash my face, brush my teeth, and clear my mind. It's one of those things that you just have to add in. And once you do, you see all the benefits.
So the people that were taking this like meditation with you, like the other people that are in the group with you, were any of them like where they just like, this doesn't work for me, they don't feel anything and they just get frustrated and just want to walk out and just leave? Or how, is there anything like that?
I think there was, but our teacher was really good at squashing the bad energy. She would say, talk to me after class. Or also an option was, if you're not feeling the meditation, everything is optional. You should listen to your body. If your body doesn't want to sit there anymore, if it's such a struggle, get up, take a walk, come back and try and do better. That second time, there is something to say about knowing your limits and not pushing it. It's not a practice of willpower. It's not like I'm making myself sit here for this amount of time. It's really about, I am welcoming in this feeling. And I know that this is what I volunteer to do. This is what I want to do. It's a choice.
And would you have any other suggestions for people who are interested in for doing and taking or trying this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, meditation came pretty easily, but I know it can be frustrating to sit with your thoughts. It's really great to have someone to talk to about it. Maybe a friend that also is interested in meditation too. So you can, go back and forth and say what you're really feeling. There's a huge community of people that love to meditate out there. So look for the resources, look for the people that are also just starting out maybe too. And you're going through a journey together, and we're all starting to realize that this is so important in our lives and makes us better at life. So definitely give it a try and see if it's for you. And if it's not for you, then you're not doing the right version. Because I do think meditation is for everyone, but there's different types. So, look for all the answers in the different forms of meditation. And hopefully it'll bring you some peace in your life, which is what we're all looking for. Peace and happiness.
Yeah. Is there any such, do people do it online together, like through a Skype call or a Zoom call? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. I think I'm doing a Zoom call tomorrow at 11. It's going to be a breath workshop, which is something that I've been just starting to do now. Breath work is really cool because you can actually release emotion through your breath, heavy breathing, and release chemicals in your brain. I've been looking into this a little bit more, and there's this naturally occurring chemical in your brain called DMT, and it's a really blissful experience. And to unlock it, you have to do this deep breathing, and then you hold your breath for as long as you can, and then you release it. And I think that's really amazing that there are different people that are starting to have tutorials on how to do it the right way. So you're not just cutting the oxygen off, you're actually following a guided breathwork meditation, which you can find through YouTube searches. There's some really cool people doing that right now. It's kind of up and coming side to meditation that I really love.
And then I assume that the people that are in these groups are very supportive. At least it sounds like they are.
Oh yeah, you gotta be. It's a journey. We're all on it together, and it's so much easier to support than to tear people down for you're not meditating right. Your eyes are open. Like there really are no rules. As long as it's serving you, as long as it's making you happy, that's the whole goal. That's the point.
Gotcha. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap everything up. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this for this discussion?
Oh, just try meditation. Just give it a shot. And it's totally worth it. Even just a little bit every day, you'll see positive results.
All right. And Emily Fletcher is someone that you highly recommend. Is there anyone else out there that that is out there? I don't think you mentioned anyone else. Is Emily Fletcher like the primary person you would recommend for this?
Yeah, I've come across different meditators throughout the years. She's the one that I really connected with the most because it's just so accessible. She breaks it down really easily and makes it really easy to digest. But there are definitely so many other amazing meditators out there. So you can kind of find your own person.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will, what I will do is I will post links for Emily in the description so people can check her out. And I'll post any links to anything else that you might recommend that you can think of after we wrap everything up. But I guess that's it. So thanks everybody for joining the show. And one person said hello to me, so I'm saying hello back in the chats. There weren't any questions. I've been keeping an eye on it. So most of them are just random things. I would just ignore some of the things that were posted towards the end.
Side chats. I wasn't even looking.
So
awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate us taking the time to talk about something that's just so personal to me and something I couldn't recommend more. And I think it'll help a lot of people.
Okay. And it was great. It was a great conversation. I think I hope people will be more inclined to want to try it out. I learned a lot more about it. I would say that I thought meditation was, well, I didn't know what it was exactly. I mean, I didn't think it was sleeping, but at the same time, I thought it was just a way to relax, but I didn't know there was so much to it and how there were different things, so many different aspects to it. So I definitely learned some more, and I'll probably check it out myself. So.
Glad to hear it.
Okay, cool. So that was Kelly, and we'll have another show very soon. And thanks for everyone for joining along. Hang on there before we get back out here.